All right now. It's fight day, everybody. Woo! That's right. This is UFC Abu Dhabi, the people's pre-fight show. It's your pre-fight show because we got fights going down in Abu Dhabi in 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I don't know how quick they'll end up making the walk, but hi, everybody. I'm Jed Meshew of MMAfighting.com. It's a great website. Check it out. Joining me today on your show, The People's Show, Casey Leydon. Look at that.
Good
name.
morning.
Just no sleeves.
Good morning.
That's right. It's
Good
like
morning.
fully morning for you. Man, when you get these like noon cards, that's noon for us. You just get to wake up to some fist fights, Case. How's that feel? Is it the most exciting?
I love the people of Abu Dhabi because they've paid the UFC enough money to nah, we ain't changing the time. You're fighting our time, and then we get nice morning weigh-ins. So,
I love them as well because this is fantastic. We got some fist fights. By the time this is all over, might even have a little bit of a break after we do the post show before we get into the real thick of the boxing card that goes on this evening. So. While we're talking, I'm pulling up the ESPN app on my television so I can keep track of it. But y'all know what the deal is. We got 40-ish minutes until fight time. You got us. Questions, fire them into the chat. Super chats get priority. Some stuff has happened overnight as well, Casey. So they don't have to be explicitly questions about UFC Abu Dhabi. We got some fight announcements. I guess before, Casey, do we already have questions in the hopper regarding that, or should I prompt us with last night's news? Joseph Bly, did you see Max Holloway being fighter of the year if he beats Ilia Topuria at UFC 308? So this is the big news, Casey, right? I didn't find this out until this morning. I didn't find this out probably until an hour ago when I opted to, because, I was working today. I don't want to immediately hop on and get into the Slack and stuff, but I hopped on, saw all the stuff. I was like, ooh, I should check out MMAfighting.com. It's a great website. And I learned that UFC 308, there is a plan in place now, and it is Ilia Topuria defending his featherweight belt against Max Holloway. I don't know if the BMF belt is on the line. Who can say if that's how that's going to work? But terrific fight. Co-main event, Robert Whittaker, Khamzat Chimaev rebooked. We'll see if this one follows through or not. But yeah, Casey, let's answer Joseph's question. If Max beats Ilia, fighter of the year, I mean, currently the clear front runner, I think sort of unanimously across our website, was Alex Pereira. Does this bump Max past Pereira if he comes in here and he beats Ilia?
I would think so. Yeah. Being a significant underdog, going up in weight, fight of the year, knockout of the year, or not fight of the year, knockout of the year, knockout of the century over Gaethje, and then if he can come in and stop the Ilia Topuria era before it begins, I don't know. Seems pretty big. Alex Pereira might fight two more times by the time the year ends. Who knows? But there's an argument.
To me, that's the difference maker. I think if Max comes in and wins, he will move into the lead spot of my fighter of the year. By that same measure, if Ilia beats Max, I will also move him to the top spot of my fighter of the year rankings. No disrespect to what Pereira has done, but featherweight's better than light heavyweight. And while the circumstances around Pereira are certainly cooler, International Fight Week 300 headliner, Topuria ending Alexander Volkanovski's reign is like if he didn't fight again, he would be in my top 5 this year because that is such a significant win. And if he goes out and beats, the third best featherweight of all time and a guy who is ageless and amazing, then Ilia will have the lead spot, but can be overtaken if Pereira wins the heavyweight belt or the interim heavyweight belt or however that goes down. That's an option. It'll depend on what Pereira does moving forward. But yeah, I think the winner of UFC 308 for me will be the front runner for fighter of the year.
Yeah. Yep. Is this the fight to make?
Oh yeah, this is the fight.
Okay,
Like
just double checking. I mean, I think we all agreed on it, but
this is one of those instances where I am very pleased with how this worked out because normally the mode is all right, we'll do a Volkanovski rematch. And you know my opinion, I hate immediate
oh,
rematches
I
in any
forgot. Yeah,
circumstance
that got
ever.
passed up. Yeah.
But they pivoted away from this almost instantly when Max beat Justin. If Max hadn't, I think we'd be getting that rematch here at Abu Dhabi. But because Max did, and it gave them something with a ton of momentum behind it, now we do this, and it's great because it lets Volkanovski get more time to recover. If Volkanovski comes through and fights the winner of this fight, early next year, I think that's totally reasonable. So I love this matchup. I think it's perfect. It's one of my most anticipated fights that can be made in MMA right now, and it's going to be a banger. I think it's going to be really, really fun.
I totally forgot that they passed up on the because it's very early
Mm-hmm.
morning. They passed up on the rematch, and I'm very pleased with that too. Because I'm aboard of you too. I don't like direct rematches. Very rarely do I like direct rematches. Just fight one fight and you're back. That's all I want. That's all I'm asking.
Yep.
Just one fight.
I'm.
Just one
I
fight.
don't think they're going to make him fight one fight, but
Ah,
I
but
just it. I'm at least fine with letting Volk get like a year off between getting back to back knocked out. Pretty tough
yeah,
situation. So
I just hate title fights when you look on your tapology page and there's multiple reds right before your title fight.
where Volk has 3 losses in a row, yeah, it'd be tough.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think this is the matchup. This matchup's awesome. Uh, Abu Dhabi. Not. I don't think where anyone really expected this fight to take place, but it's fine. It'll be great.
Oh yeah,
And I'm
Abu
looking
Dhabi.
forward
Yeah,
to it.
that's just the
It
modern
is what it
world.
is.
Yeah, we've moved on from that. All right, thank you very much, Joseph
Thanks,
Miller.
Joseph.
All right, let's talk it. Let's talk about it.
Scott McCray, PFL was pretty good last night. Impressed with Jacheva. Post fight smack talk was noise. Casey, you're going to have to be the one to talk about this because
Okay.
I did not work last evening
Oh,
and I didn't watch. I looked at the results this morning, wanted to check that out, but I did not see a single thing from a fight perspective last night.
oh, okay. I did not see how the heavyweight fights went, so I can only speak on the lady flyweight fights. But first off, big props to Dakota Ditchnia. Um, I was on the preview show and I said Jenna Bishop's being overlooked. And I was picking Jenna Bishop for the. I knew it was gonna be a competitive fight regardless, but I was picking Jenna Bishop. And Ditchnia, do you know how she won? Did you see that at all?
No clue.
Oh,
It did not look. I just looked at the winners. I have
Bishop
no
looked
idea
great.
what happened. I
Bishop looked great at the
assumed. I
beginning.
assumed an early knockout.
Yeah, but Bishop looked great. Took her down. Great takedown. Got her down. Got her in a decent, I think, side control or maybe a decent position. She got taken down. Bishop was on top was on top of her within the first 45 seconds of the fight or so. But Dakota worked her way up, got up, and once she got up, gave her they threw a couple of strikes. Then they clinched up. Great knee to the body, and then a great knee. Then she switched knees and great knee to the head. Bishop fell down, and then Dakota was very wise and did not jump into Bishop's guard and do ground and pound. She made Jenna Bishop get up, did the whole stand up, stand up. Bishop got up. She looked wobbly. I think threw a couple of strikes. Bishop fell down pretty easily, and I thought it was a bit of a girl stoppage. But she did not look good going down, and I've no problem. But you fell. She kind of got hit, kind of pulled guard and stuff. Kind of like whatever. But it didn't look good, and no problem with the stoppage. I didn't like the stoppage, but that's how it is. But either way, Dakota looked freaking awesome. She got taken down and got up, and I was just by doing that against someone of Bishop's caliber as a grappler, I was very impressed. And her killer instinct is top notch, and she'll be fighting Tyler Santos, who I did not see the fight, but heard it was a workmanlike performance, beating Liz Carmouche. So
If you've seen one Tyler Santos fight, you've seen them all.
yeah. So
So,
so this is the fight, and credit to PFL. They did it. They have
this is what they were trying to make happen, and they made it happen.
They made it happen,
And that
and Dakota looked amazing in all of her victories. She has one hell of a highlight reel now. just for this tournament alone. I think 3 first-round knockouts against professional fighters, and all gradually getting better and better. And now she's facing, I guess, the queen, who's not in the UFC, Tyler Santos. And and it's gonna be a heck of a fight, and I look forward to it.
I will certainly be tuning in for that. But if I get a Friday off, I'm gonna take a Friday off, and maybe I'll check it out today while we've got some downtime. As the fights take a while, but it's hard, Casey. It's hard to want to watch fights that have already happened when the gold zone is on, and I get to watch 51 gold medals be handed out this weekend. I don't know if you've been watching any of the gold zone for the Olympic coverage, but this is the best thing in the. Do you know what NFL Red Zone is?
I'm aware of that. Yeah. What is gold zone?
Yeah, so gold zone is the Olympics red zone version, where they take the same dudes who do the red zone thing, but they just run them, and it's a constant stream of sports, and they bounce to the medal matches for all of it. They'll give you like a quad box, like in the top left corners here, and then they'll pull isolations for like Simone Biles is, I don't know if it's official because we started talking about this, but is about to, if has not already won the gold medal in vault. And so then they did like a full cam for that for a while to watch her flip around through the air. They did skeet shooting. It's been the most electric viewing experience like all week long, because you just get to see all of the like most important stuff happening, and it rocks. So I don't know anything about skeet shooting realistically. Like I've shot skeet before, but I don't know and I just I'm locked in, and then it's like, all right, let's go to dressage for a minute. So it's banging. I've got it on the screen right here.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I spent a good chunk last night watching on my YouTube Premium account, just going through the NBC Sports and watching the highlights they put up from various sports.
The NBC Sports highlight package is very good. They're very good at that as well.
I watched a bunch of table tennis. I was loving it. I saw this incredible match between this 20-year-old Korean girl and some Japanese chick, and it was freaking awesome. I watched the gold medal for the 10,000 meter run. Has track and field started, or was I watching last year? I feel like sometimes I'm watching.
No, track and field's up.
Okay.
Some of the longer races have wrapped a lot.
The longer races. So I was watching the triathlon highlights. The triathlon was ruled. I love the triathlon. I was like watching volleyball highlights. Man. Yeah, I'm pretty jaded about the Olympics. You don't want to look too closely sometimes at the business practices.
Don't do that at all.
But it's kind of like the World Cup for me. It's like there's so many bad things that come along with it. But once it starts, I'm like, all right, I'm hooked. I'm in. But I liked it. It was good times. The Gold Network. That sounds awesome.
The Gold Zone's awesome. Highly recommend. Awesome. Watch the judo, the women's team judo finals this morning, or not finals, bronze medal match. They go to OT, and Brazil wins on an ippon immediately. It was awesome. I did see that.
I was watching some judo last night too. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure on the rules of judo. I can't. Sometimes I'm like, wait, why are they getting up? But I'm like, whatever, this is cool. Because I keep in my mind thinking this is when I'm watching grappling, but I'm not watching grappling. So the rule sets are different. So I'm like, oh, it's over? What?
Yeah, but if you just get the throw, it's an ippon and it's game over.
Yeah. But just watching the hips, you go, it's so cool. All right.
It's fun, man. Like right now, Gold Zone has a 6-box of beach volleyball, tennis, soccer, men's basketball, judo, and water polo. And it's just vibe. It's highly recommend. To any of you out there at home, put it on your second screen. You won't be disappointed.
I think every 4 years I go dude, water polo is so freaking tough. I cannot imagine.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's an impossible sport.
I used to kind of think rugby was the toughest team sport. So I'm kind of maybe water polo is some days. I don't know.
As a man who played collegiate rugby is a very difficult sport.
Oh, yeah. I played a little rugby too.
I've never played water polo, so I can't speak to that. But they are both very difficult.
Yeah, different levels for sure. But
sevens is very hard, but you're only working for 14 minutes in sevens at least, but it's a full out sprint for 14 minutes, which is tough.
Yeah, I just learned about sevens too. I didn't realize that there was the halves are so short, and that's why That's kind of the point of it. It's just
Yeah.
sprint. I was like, how are they
It's
going?
just octane. It's
Yeah.
the most consumer friendly. Like, it's the most viewer friendly sport possible, and it's super fun to play.
All right. Thank you
You get rid of
much.
all the big lumbering idiots and just go all the fast people who are also
Oh, is that
can
the
hit
did
people.
the what is it? Is it sevens that the women won the bronze? Is
Yes,
it? Yeah, I saw
sevens is the only Olympic game. Yeah.
okay. Oh, that was super cool. All right. Do.
Ryder Skyler, who headlines 307 now, and who does Pereira fight next? Was 307 the proposed Salt Lake City card? I got to pull this up now.
Yes, it's Salt Lake. So
The
right
proposed Salt
now,
Lake City
yeah,
card.
that's
So 307. I don't remember
yeah.
if it's been official or not, but that's the Pennington Pena fight. Seems to be heading to Salt Lake City.
Oh
I know
yeah.
Movsar Aljo is official there. They're not going to headline Pennington and Pena. That seems deeply unlikely. Um, I don't know. Also, I don't remember how much of this. Magman Nikolaev came out saying somewhere that he is unlikely to fight Pereira next, and that they have some alternate plans for the light heavyweight champion. I don't have any idea. Like, I'm not privy to what those are. There's certainly a world where those plans are Tom Aspinall, because
Ooh.
there's not a great incentive to do Aspinall versus anybody else right now, and with the heavyweight title tied up, maybe they just gamble and say if Pereira beats Aspinall, Tom will do this, etc. But I don't suspect that that'll happen if Pereira is not going to defend his belt, because there wouldn't be anybody at light heavyweight who would get that shot. Then I don't think he'll headline Salt Lake City. Casey, do you have any thoughts on who this could be? Because I'm trying to think, and I don't have a lot of options for us.
Well, if the UFC is gonna give the fans what they want in terms of like a really good pay per view, I mean, it seems to be Aspinall Pereira is not possible.
I mean, I guess that could be possible.
I mean,
I
and that seems to be the fight,
Be
unless
all right.
oh, dude, Aspinall Pereira, I'm
It would just be really weird to do that fight in Salt Lake City.
I,
Like,
I've given up on that. I've given. It's Salt Lake City pays for that. Like, what's a cool fight for Salt Lake City? I don't know. I mean, it's Salt Lake City, and I
I
think
mean, I guess that's true, but
like what main event fight is that gives that Salt Lake City vibe?
well, it's less that. It's just like Pereira and Aspinall are very clearly tied to other markets. So then putting them in that one is just a little weird. But you're right. There's nothing, I don't know, Barry Bilal there. You don't really care about Bilal. You can do Bilal because Bilal does not appear to be going to Abu Dhabi, based on kind of these announcements. But he seemed ready to make a quicker turnaround. Maybe you ask him to defend. You can do Shavkat in Salt Lake City.
We the reason I like the Aspinall thing there because we kind of we hear like, oh, Aspinall is not a star. He only fights in England. You know, well, when we now there's an opportunity to fight in a major pay per view in the States. We're like, well, he's a British fighter. No one's gonna care over here. But at some point, yeah, I think you got to just make the leap for the UFC, the promotional leap, and go, all right, let's make him a worldwide star, not just this British guy. So that's
Yeah.
why I
Plus, he
think it's
knocks people out in 60 seconds, so it's
and he's
not
a
like
freaking
the
heavyweight. He's
elevation will be
great
that awful.
personality, and
Could be. That
and
could be the answer. That feels a little odd, but it could be it.
hey, and when Stipe twists his knee going down the fire pole, no rescuing cats and stuff from trees and stuff, then
Because like
they got the winner of this Aspinall Pereira fight ready to go.
I mean, I guess there is an option where it's why you do a double stack of women and Wiley defends against somebody and
Oh
Pena
yeah,
Pennington is the main, but it
I kind of
just that doesn't feel like how they'd go.
I kind of forgot about Wiley, but like also you put Wiley in Salt Lake City. That
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, well, they're just never going to go to China with her, so
Again, yeah,
Salt Lake City,
yeah. If
sure,
they
I
didn't do
guess.
Wiley and Yan in China, they're never. It's just that ain't happening.
I I will guess that they're going to try and get below the turnaround. That will, if I had to guess one, I would go for that, just because that seems like something. Whereas if they do a double a stack of women, that's not going to draw a ton of pay per views for them. And like the other options are pretty limited unless they are doing Pereira versus Aspinall, which I mean, I would hate it, but it would draw eyeballs. People would be interested, so could be that.
Is it gonna be Blah Usman?
It could
Or do
be.
you?
I think Shavkat gets first right of refusal, but if Shavkat is not willing, they are not going to hold for him. My guess is they offer Shavkat first and then Usman second.
Yeah. So
But that
this
is a
is
pure guess.
yeah. So this is for October 5th. So how many months out? So yeah, this
So
is
what, through 2 months out?
2 months out. So if
Yeah.
this is the
Basically,
time, yeah. If you're gonna be doing those title fights, those fighters better begin and start dieting right now. But all right,
mhm.
thank you much.
Great question, though, Ryder. Well, you know what? Stay tuned to MMAfighting.com. When we know more, you'll know more.
Yeah. All right. Oh, guys, see a super chat dropping in.
Is the UFC setting up Izzy Alex 4 if he wins? They could be. I don't know that they are setting it up more as they are allowing it to happen if it does. I think if Izzy wins, I would be pretty surprised to see him defend his middleweight title, just because like at that point he's reclaimed it for the third time. Like he's the only person other than Randy Couture to hold the belt 3 times. Um, and then like, does he really want to go back and fight Sean Strickland again? Maybe it's a big fight, maybe. But I think if Izzy can kind of leverage this as a hey, now I'll go up try and get another belt for a second time. Me and Pereira have the built-in storyline. Uh, Again, I don't think this is necessarily a setup for that, but it is creating an
Yeah.
opportunity where that exists, and then they can pounce on it if the occasion arises.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. It's not a direct setup, but be lots. Be yeah. If Izzy wins, yeah, be lots of interesting discussions. A lot of options for the UFC and Izzy if he
Mm-hmm.
wins.
A lot of options in that regard, but he's got to win. And DDP is, I think, a very, very tough fight for him. I think it's a tough fight for DDP, but I by no means do I think Izzy has this one sewn up. So I can't call this a setup. This is just the two dudes who should be fighting for the belt.
Do you want to see Izzy go to 205 to fight Pereira, or would you
I
rather
don't care
him?
to see. Like I will watch him fight Pereira as many times as they want to do it. I've seen it plenty.
I
I
guess
don't
that's.
need to see it again. Um, but it's also it's
Yeah.
Izzy. It's Izzy Alex 5, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so we're really clear here. I've seen that fight enough. I don't need it again. I'll watch it every time they book it. It'll be okay. But I would be happy to see him go to light heavyweight in general, because once he settles up with DDP, the rest of it's just running back stuff I don't care about realistically. Like again, I'll watch it. If they do a Robert 3 fight, sure. If they do a Sean Strickland rematch, sure. Uh, is he Israel Adesanya is one of the best fighters in the world. I'll watch him compete against anybody, but I would like some fresh matchups for him. And I don't think he is going to be a guy who hangs around if he loses to fight the up and comers like the Michelle Pereiras and the Kyle Barrios and stuff. So I'd rather see him go up to light heavyweight and see what he can do against some people up there, other than like Jan Blachowicz. I think was a sneaky bad matchup for him. I thought that at the time, but like,
And people
why
forget that
couldn't
that
he
fight
do
was.
well against plenty of people?
And people forget
He's very
that people act
competitive.
like that fight was competitive and it was up for grabs in the fifth round. That fight was actually,
It
if you look at the judges' cards, it was up for grabs in the fifth round. Like I think that's kind of the weirdest fights when people are like, "Oh, he got dominated at 205." And what? It's like,
Well,
dude, no, I mean, he lost, but it was.
so it's a little of both though, because the moments he won were not nearly as clear as when Jan was winning. When Jan was winning, it was like the very obvious, and when Izzy was winning, it was like, yeah, he's a little bit better, but it was not like, oh, he's trapped underneath him and can't move. It's
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
get it. It was
yeah.
competitive, but Jan's moments were much more stood out much more than Izzy's did.
Agreed, but yeah, agreed. But I kind of compared to like when Max went up to fight Dustin at 155. I was like, well,
Yeah.
if he can't beat Dustin, then there's no way he's gonna be able to handle the power of Gaethje. You know, it's just like I don't think. I think people just take too much from one fight, one competitive fight. That's all.
Yeah, and like I watch the shit out of Izzy versus Yuri or whatever. I think they're just more fun matchups because they're new and different than what we've seen. So win or lose, I'd be comfortable with Izzy moving
I
up.
get that because if Izzy wins, boom, you've done history. You've gotten your belt back twice now. There's nothing more you can do now. It's just rematches, and there's no Shavkat at 85 right now, and Chimaev just
Well, I
what's
mean,
going on.
there's Chimaev, but we'll see. If Chimaev does show up to fight Robert Whittaker and beats Robert Whittaker, then yes, I would like to see Izzy fight Chimaev. But other than that, like I don't need to see Izzy fight Nasruddin Imavov. That's whatever. Don't care. We're fine.
I see Imavov, Kyle Brauer, kind of like that. I guess that next generation once Izzy moves on to 205 or something. Yeah,
I would way rather see Izzy fight Yuri in just like a fun weird fight.
Yeah, more fun and weird.
More fun and weird. Be fun and weird, guys. Super chat from Dave Sandine. Love you guys. Love y'all too.
Man, thank you. That's some positivity.
Thanks,
I dig it.
Love positivity. Hank Hill, where does Mokaev go now that PFL said they don't want him either? I did not hear that PFL said that. I am not surprised. PFL does not have a flyweight division.
Yeah, so Drake Riggs reported that I guess he interviewed Cepho, and Ray Cepho, their president or CEO, I'm not sure his actual title.
He's president, I believe.
President. He kind of said, basically said, no, we're not interested. I hear he's a troublemaker or something. The thing about Mokaev, I wish he would go to the PFL because he's a guy that said that he eventually will be a 35er. He is outgrowing that flyweight body, and they have an amazing fighter named Patchy Mix over there who does not have any sort of opponent. So give Mokaev one fight at 35 and set him up for Patchy because they need to build up Patchy Mix. And Patchy Mix and Mokaev, once he gets a win at 35, I think it'll be amazing. Yeah, but as far as flyweights, yeah, PFL, they don't need to do a flyweight thing because they have enough issues on their own to create another division.
I'd be fine seeing him move to PFL, but I don't think it's necessary. I think I'd like to see him in Ryzen, where that's already kind of built in. There are competitors there. You can sort of see how he goes there.
There are plenty of 25ers over there, yeah.
But like honestly, and this is gonna sound very old man of me, I'd just like to see the kid grow up. Like he is just so immature in his actions at this point. The last like week has been his like tweeting the other like Steve Erceg comes out and gives an interview talking like roughly about him, but not being like that dude. She's like, yeah, like I heard he's a bit of a troublemaker and you punched a dude. You probably can't do that. And it's Steve Erceg, and his response is like, don't talk shit now. Remember when I was nice to you? Like, dude, just grow up. Like, people are allowed to talk about you when you act out. And like, this is part of the problem. Like he's got some growing up to do. And so I would just like him to become I'm not casting aspersions. He's 24. I was a huge shithead when I was 24. So I just like to see him kind of season a little bit more because he clearly has a ton of talent. But if I use this phrase all the time in various meetings, but it is directly applicable here. If you wake up in the morning and you meet an asshole, you met an asshole. If you go around all day meeting assholes, you're the asshole. The number of people talking about you seems to indicate you're the problem. So maybe do better.
Yeah. And he's so good. He's so good and so young.
He's talented. So unbelievably talented.
And for the record, I thought Manel Cop won, but it was super competitive.
I had Manel Cop win all 3 rounds. So yes, I agree. But unbelievably talented. Yeah. A guy I said was going to be a future 2-division champion, like still can. But, he needs to fix some things because the sport is not just about what you can do in the cage. There are a whole lot of other parts to it, and he's got to work on those.
The crappy part is, I hate even saying this, like, the reason he has to mature is because he doesn't generate enough revenue to make up for that immaturity in this sport.
I mean, yeah, like if that is ultimately the king, he is popular. He's got like 1 million Instagram.
Yeah, that's why I'm always
not there yet.
Yeah, not there yet. I am trying to imagine like 23. Was he 20? Is he 24 now or 20?
24. He turned 24 like 3 days ago or something.
Okay. Brand new 24. To be this good at your sport at 24, yeah, that's gotta rearrange the cells in your head. You know, I mean, your brain. And I don't know, like
Yeah.
it's gotta rewire you in weird ways. So like, I'm not excusing Mokaev, but much like John Jones, in his rise, like you are growing up in a world that no one else has experienced. At that age. So.
I mean, excellence in that measure is gonna screw with you a little bit, and you work through it. I'm seeing a ton of comments in the chat. I'd like to be clear. Yes, I am a child. I'm an absolute infant. There's a gulf of a difference between being an infant for a show on YouTube versus being an infant in your interpersonal skills with other human beings. Like nobody who's ever met me is like, man, that guy is a real jackass. Like just difference, guys.
I've never sucker punched someone after asking for a photo. I've not done that.
Yeah, like there's just a whole world in how you are actually and how you are for an entertainment vehicle.
Yeah. I'm kind of conflicted on that whole thing because everyone's like, he admitted it. I'm like, well, he's telling the truth. Are we happy that he's not lying? But it's just...
I respected that he told the truth. I can't believe he did it. It was so stunning to me. He's like, I sucker punched him.
He told the truth, but didn't go like, I shouldn't have done that. He just said, here's the reasons why I did it. And
well, that's the thing. I respect that part of it. If you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly, But like, you got to also imagine that that's going to come with some backlash. You can't be like, I didn't think this would happen. Well,
that's gonna be okay. Okay, moving on.
Achilles Jr. sending negativity. We can always count on you. You shouldn't be. Eric's not involved. I don't think Eric's on the post show. I might be wrong about that.
He's scared. He's out.
He's not. Yeah, he's not on the post show. Achilles. You don't have anybody to hate today.
Spending time with his family.
I did not realize that Thursday was Eric's birthday. So like he did BTL and it was his birthday. It kept it very low key. That's back-to-back birthday competitors on BTL. We got to find somebody next Thursday whose birthday it is to bring them on. Keep this train rolling. Super chat from Oscar Lara. Would it be smart for UFC to book backup fighter for Rob Khamzat? Oscar, yes. Yes, it would be smart. And we talked about this last time. Case, let's just talk about this fight in general. I'm far more surprised than I was about the main event. Like, I think we all knew where we were going with that. I kind of thought that was going to be the Salt Lake City, but they're doing Abu Dhabi. I would assume they're doing Abu Dhabi because Islam cannot fight in Abu Dhabi, which seems to be what is happening right now. But that didn't shock me. Shocked me they went back to the Bobby Knuckles versus Khamzat fight. Were you as surprised as I am given how that worked the last time around?
They're not going to give up on it. I don't yet. If Oscar, you're right. They should have a backup. I'm not sure who the backup's going to be, but there'll be a backup for the co-main event for the first time. I think there should be at least. Or maybe this is, yeah.
Also, Casey, I just realized when I say this, my birthday actually is Thursday. So I totally forgot. So, yes, I'm on BTL next week. Yeah, but Oscar, yes, they should 100% have a backup. Like, I would love to live in a world where Khamzat shows up and competes when he is scheduled to compete. Because, again, this is a guy we are all enormously high on, even at middleweight. Like, I think many people still believe he can be the champion. I certainly thought he was going to be the welterweight champion. That appears off the table at this point. But he's got to get in there. And, like, you have to be able to fight. You have to do it. And whatever the reasons are that he seems to fall ill, this is a pure speculation, but like I would suggest that it probably has to do with having long COVID because he falls ill every time he starts to cut weight and put his body in stress. And so I don't know how you get past that, but you need to have a backup fighter for him because his last like 6 times out have not been smooth sailing. And if I'm Rob, I would not accept this fight without having a clear backup plan established for me. Like that would have been the negotiation. I'll do it, but there has to either be a planned backup, or if he just doesn't show up, I just get a title shot.
Yeah, something
Those are
guaranteed.
that's it.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the more I think about it, I was like, oh, the crazy part is Rob taking the fight, not the UFC booking it, not Khamzat booking it, not Khamzat taking the fight, but Rob taking the fight. That's actually the surprising part. And but
Yeah,
yeah,
because Rob could
hopefully
have
there's
fought
some.
like Imavov, you know? Like
Yeah,
I do think Rob needed another win, but he could have been like, yeah, Imavov's going to show up. I know for a fact he will be in the cage against me, and if I beat him, that's enough to have earned my title shot.
man.
Khamzat's bigger risk.
Yeah, I wonder if Khamzat will end up just being the next Anthony Johnson, in the sense that what looked like he was going to be the greatest fighter ever at welterweight ends up finishing his career at light heavyweight.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me at all if he did end up moving to light heavyweight. Maybe that would solve some of his issues. You know, maybe his body won't be under such stress if he's not cutting as much weight. But when you started that, I thought, what if Hamzat's the next TJ Grant? Where it's like, oh, yeah, this dude could be the best. He could win the belt. He's never going to get there because he's just never going to compete again.
Yeah. I thought TJ Grant, I understand what you're saying, but I think TJ Grant's more, I don't remember people thinking he's the best, but I definitely thinking, oh, he has earned his title shot, kind of that, he's a guy that's clearly a top guy. Yeah, but
nobody really thought he was the best, but it was like, this dude is undefeated at lightweight and looks like a monster, and then never fought again.
Yeah. So from what I remember, it was a grappling incident. He got a really bad concussion during just a roll, and just fell on a knee and he just kind of never got better, or just chose not to take that risk. He goes, I need my brain. I don't care about the paycheck, which is
From my understanding is eventually it became that, but if for the first year or whatever, it was just like he never got back to like a really clean, healthy spot where he felt good, and then as time went on, I was like, well, what's the point now? But
what's the point now?
Yeah. And honestly, like Khamzat's talked about retirement a couple of times at this point because he gets deathly ill half the times he fights. At some point, he is so particular in like his personality that I would be a little surprised if he did hang it up. But it wouldn't shock me if one day he was like, dude, literally every time I start to cut weight, my body shuts down and I have to go to hospital. I'm done. That's a reasonable way to respond to what is happening to him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's too bad, but yeah, that's sports. All right, a couple more super chats.
Random shit happens. Thanks, Oscar. Giovanni Perez is Dern most aggravating fighter on today's card. I don't know about most aggravating, but let me take a reminder look at the card to make sure I'm not forgetting someone I might consider more aggravating. No, yeah, she's probably it. And you could make a case that Tony Ferguson's continued insistence to fist fight is aggravating, but as a Mackenzie Dern truther, me and Shaheen Al-Shadi, the last two men on the island, believing she can be champion, it is extremely difficult to watch her show flashes in almost every fight and then have done nothing to build around that part of her game for her entire professional career functionally. So, yeah, I would agree. She is the most aggravating fighter. She's one of the more aggravating fighters in the sport for me personally.
Yeah. Dude, I know there's some great cards on this Abu Dhabi card, but I am super excited to see Mackenzie Dern and Lupi. I'm a big fan of watching Lupi fight, and I love this fight. This is outside the main event. I get there's a lot. We didn't even talk about this card, the Abu Dhabi card, real quick. The Abu Dhabi main card is so good. I really dig it.
It's unbelievably good.
It's got stakes. It's got name value. Yeah, I get Tony Ferguson and Chiesa. We don't care about it in the ranking sense, but for fans, I get it. Their name value. That's cool. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Tony Ferguson's 30 losses in a row. Beside the point. Just the top six fights. Yeah.
The full main card's amazing. There are a couple of prelim fights that I'm particularly pumped about. The fact that, like, like Jose said yesterday on the preview show, I don't want to see Tony Ferguson fist fight anymore. I'm ready to be done with this part of our lives. But this is at least one of the better ways. I don't think it's going to go good for him. I want to be really clear about that. But I don't have to feel as bad about this as like other fights that they have booked with him. So there's that to be said. Nick Diaz isn't fighting, so I don't have to feel bad about that.
Oh, thank God.
Very strong card.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let's
but
pull up the
I was
ESPN stream and see
yeah, I
if
was
they're
kind of just
talking yet.
visualizing the Ferguson Chiesa fight in my head last night, and I was thinking, man, this could go so many sad ways. But I think the saddest way would be if Tony looks good and wins. Do you know what I mean? Because that means his next
Yeah.
fight will be not good. Because Michael
Because he's
Chiesa,
not
I
going to
thought,
leave on a win. He's not going to be
yeah,
like, guys, I finally won. I'm going to retire. Like, if Dustin wins his next fight, I firmly expect him to retire. Oh, let's go, Pommel boy.
yeah,
Sorry. In the men's pommel horse final, Steve Nadaraz, whatever you, the
that same
pommel
dude,
horse
the
guy,
dude with the
he's out
glasses,
here pommeling that horse.
the guy with the glasses, the guy who just sits there.
Yes.
Oh
Clark Kent
yes,
is pommeling this horse.
the
And
guy
it looks
rules.
like he's pommeling the hell out of this horse. I don't know too much about it, but it seems very solid. I don't have the commentary to tell me when his toes aren't pointed enough or whatever. Well, he's walking up and down that pommel horse with his hands. Look at him go. Come on, Big Steve. Dismount, spinning, boom. He doesn't seem that pumped about it. Oh, no, he seems more pumped about it now. Oh, he's very pumped about it. You pommel that horse, Steve. Yeah. Oh, they look really pumped about it. I don't know if that's gold medal pumped, but they look really pumped right now. So, way to go, Steve.
I swear they before the event starts, they need a roll tape of just get some athletic person who's tried the pommel horse for 15 minutes and show them what a normal person looks like on that.
That's the thing is I don't need that for the pommel horse. I think that would be really fun for like the races. A normal person could not do a single thing that has occurred on the pommel horse right now.
Oh yeah,
Like just not a random dude can't do one body rotation while holding themselves up on that thing
dude,
with just their arms. So I think in this instance that would fail because no one could do anything.
I just put two guys on the rings, just like I'm just gonna hold
They'll just
myself.
flop.
Just-
They'll just be holding.
Just
Okay, what do I do now? Pull up. I can't do that.
can't do that. Make your arms out like this. Guy, I was watching the 10K, the 10,000 meters, and they ran 10,000 meters in under like 26 minutes.
Yeah.
I run a 5K in about 25 minutes. They would have lapped me twice. I don't even know how many times. It was they were the speed that they were running at 10,000 meters was like just blowing me away.
Dude, I ran cross country in high school. The peak of my athleticism, I could do like a sub 18 5K, and that wouldn't be remotely competitive. Like I would look like a cartoonishly out of place human being. All right, we got fighters in the cage, Casey. So do we have any other super chats to pop to? Jed, did you check out Deadpool yet? Justin, I did. I saw it Thursday evening. It was fine. It certainly wasn't a bad movie. It was too much of it. I think at this point, it was too referential, too meta.
Is it a fan service movie?
Oh, it is. The movie is almost explicitly fan service, which is kind of its biggest issue is that it's not a film. The other ones have like a pretty clear plot that's not bad. This one, the plot is entirely in service of setting up set pieces that they want and fan service moments that they want. But in the third act, spoiler alert, when Logan pulls the actual Wolverine mask down, I was like, this movie rocks. I don't give a shit about the rest of this. So sometimes fan service does its job. But it's still funny. There's still some moments that are really funny. Some moments that are clever. It's the worst of the three Deadpools, but it's good. If you're into that, I would recommend seeing it.
Quick movie rec for me because no one asked. It's now available on HBO Max. Love Lies Bleeding. I love that film.
Yep, good movie. I watched it on HBO Max the other day because I missed it in theaters. Good. All right, we got fighters in the cage. So, Casey, now that we've done our duty with the questions, let us run down our main card selections. Opening the evening, lightweight contest: Joel Alvarez taking on Elves Brenner. While I pull up my own answers to this, Casey, what do you have?
Uh, in a great slobber knocker of a fight, because these gentlemen cannot do otherwise. I'm going to flip a coin and just say Brenner is going to win by round 3 KO after just concussing the hell out of each other. That's the hope.
I'm picking with my heart here. I actually think Brenner might win this because he's so tough, and Joel Alvarez can be gotten to. But I love Joel Alvarez. I find him just deeply fun to watch, and so I've got Joel by round 2 submission. The second bout of the main card, it is your favorite, Casey. Mackenzie Dern taking on Lupe Godinez in a women's strawweight contest. I'll lead us off this time, and I will say I'm trying to break the cycle of violence. Hurt people, Casey, and I don't want to be hurt anymore. I am choosing Lupe Godinez by decision. I suspect that this is the time that Mackenzie Dern will put it all together, and I'll look like a huge asshole, but that's okay. I'm trying to protect my heart.
I love my girl Lupe. She's going to win a 29-28, and it will be an excellent fight. I can't wait for
one
the
of these
grappling.
rounds,
I can't wait for the grappling. Yeah.
One of the rounds, Mackenzie's going to get to mount. She's going to have the backpack for like 2 minutes. She's not going to finish the submission, and she's never going to get the fight down again, and Lupe's going to win a decision. The sad bout of the evening, Tony Ferguson taking on Michael Chiesa in a welterweight contest. Casey, what do you got?
Chiesa looked so bad in this fight against Kevin Holland. I was
Sure did.
like really bad. But I am picking the bigger fighter. I am picking Michael Chiesa to win an ugly decision that we're gonna go. I just didn't need that fight, and I think after this fight, we're gonna hope both guys retire. I hate being that negative, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to this
Achilles
fight.
brought the negativity, changed the whole energy of the show. I'm going Chiesa by round 2 TKO. Perhaps some wish casting here. I think he's going to get takedowns at will. He is enormous, and Tony is not going to be able to functionally fight off his back. So I'm going to pick Chiesa to get a stoppage here. Our feature bout of the evening, bantamweight contest.
Ground and pound. Just take it down.
Ground and pound. Ground and pound. Not standing. Feature bout of the evening, bantamweight contest. Marlon Chito Vera taking on Davison Figueiredo. Casey, for me, I talked about this one a couple of times this week already. I'm taking Cheeto. It won't shock me if he just doesn't do anything, and then Figgy gets a win by doing some stuff. But Figgy is not a high volume combat athlete himself. Relies a lot on being explosive on the feet and a good grappler. Cheeto is an exceptional defensive wrestler and a good grappler in his own right, and can't be killed by man nor God. So I think Cheeto just has enough advantages that I'm going to pick him to win a 29-28 decision.
I'm going Figgy Smalls, 30-27. I like Cheeto as a person. I get his great personality. Sometimes his fights can be very exciting. I've never been super high on him as a ranked fighter, and I think Figgy has impressed me, and I think he's just getting better at 35. And so I think he'll win a solid decision. But everything you said, I could see happening too.
Yeah, there's very few outcomes in this fight would shock me. Which brings us to our co-main event of the evening, Shara Magomedov, a.k.a. Shara Bullet, taking on Mikhail Oleksiejczuk in a middleweight contest. Casey, who you got?
I'm going Mikhail. Second round KO. I think it's just gonna be a fun fight, and I think Shar is gonna get got. But I don't really have a hard analysis on it. But Shar, I get the hype on him because he's got the coolest profile photo ever on Tapology, so I get that.
He looks very cool. He's a pirate. It's great branding. I don't know that he's very good though. And I think I am also on Mikhail. I think Mikhail's going to get first round submission. I think he's going to come right across the cage and just put it on him. And if Shar can't knock him out, and not a lot of people, aka one human being ever, has knocked out Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, I think he's going to just sort of get this fight going and take advantage of where Shaw is weak. So that brings us to the main event. Cory Sandhagen, Umar Nurmagomedov, 5 rounds at bantamweight with a title fight very likely on the line. And Casey, I'll let you have the last say because I will just come out and say it. Taking Nurmi by 3rd round submission. I believe this is the most difficult fight for him in this weight class, very likely. And I think he is about to show out. I have just been very high on him. Not saying he's a perfect fighter. He's got plenty of weaknesses, and Cory is smart enough and has the tools to make him work, take advantage of those weaknesses. But ultimately, I don't think Cory can stop the takedowns that are going to come his way. The single leg transitions, the work he can do to slip to the back, find those exchange spots. And this is going to look like Khabib fighting dudes because I think Umar is the worst of the 3 Nurmagomedovs, which still makes him better than everybody else competing. So that's where I'm at.
I acknowledge Umar is a very, very, very good fighter, but Cory Sandhagen is my boy, and I never pick against him. I still believe Cory Sandhagen is the best bantamweight in the world. Just sometimes the matchups don't work out for him, but I think skill for skill, he is just incredible. I love Cory Sandhagen, and I'll never pick against him, and I think he will win a close decision. It'll be an excellent fight, and I love this main event on a great card.
I mean, it's a great main card, terrific main event. And Casey, we are so professional because as we sit right here, Cedric Dumas, Dennis Tululin are being announced. This fight will start in a matter of moments, which means we are perfectly timed. Remember, Gold Zone's happening. I'm watching people pommel horses. I'm watching Renner just dominate fools in judo for the team contest. This is awesome. There's fights happening. No nonsense. Keith Peterson starting this action off. Stick with us. We've got a post show coming after the UFC Abu Dhabi card. Coverage for the boxing as well. Terrence Crawford, Madrimov.
That's where I'm going tonight.
Place to be.
I'm going there.
Casey's on site.
I'm going to see Eminem perform.
Let's go.
That's a thing.
That is the thing. And we're going to have a great time. Stick with us, MMAfighting.com, and we'll see y'all at the post show in a few hours. Love y'all.
Oh, happy birthday, AK.
Happy birthday, AK.